Checking out the new police headquarters with the new chief, Tyler Chandler. Thank you for joining us again.
Glad to be here.
Justin Beasley, your public information officer. I was a good neighbor this last weekend and went to a nearby Christmas parade and calling friends and staff and just needing to know where to go. And I imagine somebody's in that same predicament this weekend for our parade. We got a new route, so it's going to be new for a lot of people. You put out the press release yesterday. A lot of good information there. What would you say to somebody as far as your advice on Saturday?
Yeah, the biggest thing on Saturday is plan ahead. You know, look at the different parking lots and find a safe place that you can park. Scope it out, know exactly where you can get the good view for this parade. Now, we all know the parade route this year is from West Wilson Middle School to Division Street. It's going to turn east on East Division, and then it's going to be over, right? What we like as a police department to see it a little bit shorter is there was a huge gap in previous parades where we saw the large hill and limited parking around the Timber Trail area on down to Woodland Place, and then it would pick back up again. The shorter route also allows us to protect it better. You know, we only have so many officers, so if it's more concentrated, we can put more officers in the crowd. We can have more police officers to ensure the parade route is safe. You know, there's all kinds of threats these days, and if you look across the nation, you've seen where people have driven through parades, tried to run people over. People have been armed and using that as a threat at the parades as well, and we don't want to see that at our parade, so we're going to do everything we can to keep our community safe. There's going to be a lot of officers out working. Also with the shorter parade, it's a less impact, right, on our businesses on Mount Juliet Road. The previous route really shut down all of Mount Juliet Road. This one does not, because there's a lot of ways to detour, right, around this parade route, right, because it's just going from West Wilson Middle School to East Division Street. And so now if you need to detour it, you can go down Curd Road, use Golden Bear Gateway. You can bypass it by using South Green Hill Road to Division, cut through Pascal out to Old Lebanon Dirt Road. And of course there's other routes as well that you can navigate around, but it's just a less impact on our community as a whole, but it allows us to better protect the parade.
Right. And the smartest people in the room, the fire, police chief, city manager, there is nothing willy-nilly about this. There was a design plan and always ways to improve the parade, and that's how we came to it this year in 2025. You're always the first one to lead the parade.
Right.
How important is it for us to try to remain, you know, we've always said don't throw candy. This year, really wanting to enforce that, and like you said, with it being a shorter parade route, you can now do that with the men and women on the bikes with EMS and police.
Yeah, definitely more concentrated of all of our public safety on this shorter route. But also, too, last year what we noticed is the dangers created by children running in the road to grab items that were thrown in front of different parades. And we had a hard time as law enforcement keeping the children out of the road. And at some point, when there's just so many, you can't properly ensure that they are safe. So we rely heavily on parents, on guardians, to ensure that children are safe along this route. The last thing we want to see is any child hurt during this, or anyone hurt really in a parade, and we want it to be as safe as it can be. But when you have a lot of vehicles driving around, when you have a lot of people along the side of the road, you need to ensure those people stay out of the road, right? And that's our number one goal, is what we're advocating is stay out of the road, but also all of our public safety folks along the route will be ensuring that people stay out of the road and you know, kindly asking them, get back, get out of the road so these floats can come through.
Parents will do a good job and heed that advice, and so will other spectators. I know those that are participating in the parade with those floats, 80 plus, they have a safety meeting on Thursday and Friday. I really think it's kind of fitting when you talk about, you know, I can say it, the best police department in the state, and we got a great fire department as well. I think they're the best in the state as well. We talk about safety, protection. We mean it when we do a parade like this, so it's only fitting that we have a really safe parade as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And for folks who don't know, the road will be shut down at 10:45 a.m. The parade actually starts at 11 a.m., but that 15-minute buffer allows us to clear traffic out, ensure people can then get on the side of the road safely, and then that parade kicks off, right? So please be at your viewing spot way before 10:45 a.m. because right at 10:45, that order to shut down the road is going out, and Mount Juliet Road will be closed from Division Street to West Wilson Middle School.
And you'll be sending out that text alert, text MJ to 67283.
That's it.
We have a substantial amount of people that have signed up for that, but not everybody in the city. That is our goal. And even those that live around the city that it impacts, please sure to sign up for that. We can never have enough. As far as the end of the parade, how does that look? How can we be safe? How can we make sure that we're doing the right thing when it comes to people getting in and out of cars, people walking around cars? Going to be a heavy populated area near the Chamber of Commerce. Also want to say this, the Christmas market at the Veterans Park will be going on until 5 o'clock too. So if you're like me and don't want to get in line in the traffic, hang out there, take your kids, live music, Santa, all of that. But what would your advice be to those that are trying to get maybe to something else Christmas-wise?
Yeah, with the end of the parade, it's busy. There's a lot of distractions. Every driver needs to be paying attention to what's around them, watching out for those pedestrians. And those that are on the floats, don't immediately jump off a float. Ensure the driver of that float has signaled it is now safe to get off the float. But as any parade, the road will open up as the end of the parade goes by, right? And we will have officers at the very end of the parade holding back traffic, allowing that buffer for people to clear off the street, get to their vehicles before traffic completely opens. But as the end of the parade comes by, it'll clear out. I do suspect, like we've seen in years past, more congestion up towards Division Street, Mount Juliet Road, where the stage is at, right, that everyone's going to be watching from, but also where the parade ends. It kind of gets congested as people stop and let people off those floats. So just know that and be aware of that. You know, if I was on the south end of town and I was trying to get back home, I wouldn't try to go north on Mount Juliet Road. I would go a bypass route like Golden Bear Gateway or out towards South Green Hill Road and on up to Lebanon Road. But the big thing is, to our drivers out there who are in the parade and not in the parade, pay attention. A lot of people, a lot of pedestrians, a lot of kids. We wanted to be safe. But those who are out and about and not driving, be aware of your surroundings to be sure that you don't walk into the path of any type of vehicle.
Absolutely. All really good information here. And if you have questions, please put it in the comments. We'll do our best to get to those. Also in the comments, we'll put Tyler's press release that we released earlier this week. A lot of good nuggets and good to familiarize yourself with. So thank you for all the work. I know a lot to be thankful for in 2025. And if I don't see you again, Merry Christmas
to you too.
We're proud of you and all that you've done. You definitely deserve it. So.
Thanks, Justin. And to everyone else, be safe out there. I look forward to seeing everyone along the route dressed warm. Going to be a little cool, but I do think we're going to have some sunshine, right?
You're the weather guy.
I think that's what I looked at, is some sunshine, and maybe later in the day, some rain's moving in. But it will be cool. It will be sunny. We just want everyone to be safe.
Absolutely. Merry Christmas.